Welcome back to our series on the local folktales and legends of the Northeast U.S., where we uncover the strange stories and hidden histories of the region's most intriguing figures and places. Today, we're diving into the controversial life of John Humphrey Noyes, a Vermont native whose radical religious ideas sparked a Utopian movement in the 19th century. Born in Brattleboro and raised in Putney, Noyes founded the Putney Perfectionists, a communal group that practiced Bible communism and complex marriage, scandalizing their neighbors and leaving a lasting mark on American history. His beliefs led to exile from Vermont but birthed the Oneida community in New York, famous for its silverware legacy. Picture a quiet Vermont village shaken by whispers of a charismatic leader challenging every social norm. Let's explore Noyes' life, his radical vision, the turmoil in Putney, and the enduring mystery of his legacy. John Humphrey Noyes was born on September 3, 1811, in Brattleboro, Vermont, to a prominent family. His father, John Noyes Sr., was a Dartmouth-educated merchant and congressman, while his mother, Polly Hayes, was a devoutly religious cousin of President Rutherford B. Hayes. Raised in Putney, young John was a shy, intellectual child, educated at home until attending Dartmouth College at 15, graduating in 1830. Initially skeptical of religion, Noyes underwent a dramatic conversion during an 1831 revival meeting in Putney, becoming convinced that Christ's second coming had occurred in 70 A.D., freeing humanity from sin. This perfectionism belief that people could live sinlessly on earth shaped his life. He studied theology at Andover and Yale, but was expelled from Yale Divinity School in 1834 for preaching that he was perfect and free from sin, a heresy that outraged Orthodox Christians. Undeterred, Noyes returned to Putney, determined to build a heavenly kingdom on earth. In 1838, Noyes married Harriet Holton, a follower who shared his zeal, and they settled in Putney, where he began preaching his radical ideas. By 1840, he had gathered a small group of about 40 followers, forming the Putney Perfectionist community. They lived communally, sharing property and labor in what Noyes called Bible communism. Inspired by early Christian practices, they ran a press, publishing The Witness, a paper spreading their beliefs. Noyes' charisma and intellect drew devotees, but his theology grew increasingly bold. He rejected traditional marriage, arguing it fostered selfishness, and introduced complex marriage in 1846, where all members were spiritually wed to each other, sharing romantic and sexual relationships under strict communal oversight. This practice, combined with his male continence technique to prevent unwanted pregnancies, aimed to create a harmonious, sin-free society. But to Putney's conservative villagers, it was scandalous, bordering on blasphemy. The perfectionist experiment in Putney sparked fierce opposition. Noyes' ideas clashed with Vermont's Puritan roots, and rumors of polygamy and immorality spread. In 1847, local authorities investigated the community for adulterous fornication. After a couple, John and Lucinda Miller, joined the complex marriage system, prompting complaints from neighbors. Noyes was arrested but released on bond. Fearing further legal action and mob violence, he disbanded the community in 1848 and fled with his followers to Oneida, New York, where they established the Oneida community. There, Noyes' vision flourished for 32 years, growing to over 300 members. The Oneida community practiced communal living, complex marriage, and eugenics-like stirpiculture, producing 58 children. They also founded a successful silverware company, Oneida Limited, which still exists today. But internal strife and external pressure ended the community in 1881, with Noyes fleeing to Canada, where he died in 1886. What makes Noyes' story so intriguing is its blend of idealism, controversy, and lasting impact. His perfectionism tapped into the 19th century's Second Great Awakening, a time of religious fervor when utopian groups like the Shakers and Mormons also thrived. Critics viewed Noyes as a cult leader, manipulating followers with his charisma and unorthodox views on sexuality. Supporters saw him as a visionary, challenging repressive social norms and fostering equality. Women in Oneida had significant autonomy, working alongside men and participating in communal decisions. His writings, like the Berean, 1847, reveal a sharp mind wrestling with spiritual and social questions, though his authoritarian control over the community raised eyebrows. The Oneida silverware legacy, born from the community's need for income, contrasts with the scandal of complex marriage, making Noyes a paradoxical figure, a radical dreamer whose practical innovations outlived his utopia. The mystery of Noyes' legacy lingers in Vermont's quiet hills. Was he a prophet of liberation or a dangerous eccentric? His expulsion from Putney reflects the era's tension between tradition and reform, and his ideas influenced later communal movements, though few embraced his extreme practices. No definitive proof of illegal acts in Putney exists, but the community's secrecy fueled suspicion. Today, his childhood home in Putney stands as a reminder of a man who dared to redefine society, leaving Vermont to grapple with a shadow. The Oneida community's archives, preserved in Syracuse University, offer glimpses into Noyes' world, but Putney's role as the cradle of his radicalism remains a haunting chapter in Northeast lore. To explore the historical context of John Humphrey Noyes' story, several local historic sites in Vermont offer a deeper look into the 19th century world that shaped him. In Putney, the family home of John Humphrey Noyes, marked by a 2002 Vermont Division for Historic Preservation plaque, stands at the intersection of Kimball Hill Road and Frost Road, where he grew up and began his Perfectionist movement. The Putney Town Hall, just a quarter-mile away, reflects the community life Noyes disrupted. In Brattleboro, the Center Congregational Church, built in 1842, evokes the religious revivals that sparked Noyes' conversion. For a broader view of Vermont's utopian experiments, the Vermont Historical Society Museum in Montpelier houses exhibits on 19th-century social movements, including Perfectionism. These sites, tied to Noyes' era, offer a tangible connection to his radical vision and the turmoil it caused. As we close, imagine standing in Putney's fields, where John Humphrey Noyes once preached a sinless world, only to be driven out by fear and outrage. His story is a wild slice of Northeast history, blending faith, rebellion, and scandal into a legacy that still sparks debate. Was he a visionary or a heretic? The answer lies in the shadows of Vermont's past. Check out our other videos on the Northeast's strangest legends, and let us know in the comments, what do you think of Noyes' perfectionist dream? Like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more tales of the unknown. Stay curious, and maybe ponder the cost of utopia in those Putney hills. Thanks for watching.